That'll be his first catch as a pro, and he comes up limping. It would appear that he has the first down by about a half-yard. Torn Dorn, a rookie defender from North Carolina, made the hit for the Raiders.
Both clubs you'd think are under wraps, but this is it, Dick. This is the offense we're going to see, at least until the later stages of the game. Kansas City just willing to take on a war of attrition with the Raiders and go head-to-head with them, full of confidence. The difference today, though, is the weather. Remember Kansas City, that we had that 20-mile-an-hour wind. Neither team could throw. So I still think the team that throws most effectively will win today.
That's Barry Ward just into the backfield for Okoye, using his elusiveness at 240 pounds to make something out of nothing, and he's inside the 50 at the 49 of the Raiders. Final scores: Miami winning at Cleveland. Philadelphia hands the Giants their first loss. That takes some of the glamour off next week's meeting against the 49ers. Minnesota blasts Chicago in their rematch. Indianapolis stuns Cincinnati after the Bengals played so brilliantly last week against Pittsburgh. New Orleans edges Atlanta, and Green Bay wins by 10. Late games, no score yet. Kansas, Rams in San Francisco, Pittsburgh Jets. Phoenix gets a touchdown early against the Patriots.
You know, Dick, those teams, looking at those scores, those teams that play defense can be consistent. Those teams that don't play real good defense, like the Bengals, are going to struggle all year. One great win and one average game.
It's word again for a couple. Ricky Ellison, number 50, made the tackle. Ellison's going to have a tough week ahead of him, Bill Walsh, after what happened here at the Coliseum last night.
Oh, Ricky worked with him in San Francisco. He started for us for a number of years, a Super Bowl champ. But is he a USC fan? He was a great player at Southern Cal, and so proud of it, so boringly outspoken about it. Well, he took on Golick and these other Notre Dame guys, Tim Brown, and he wanted some kind of a bet. They conceded finally no money, but you'll have to wear a Notre Dame hat.
And a shirt now.
And a shirt. I don't know, maybe there's socks and everything. Jock's involved now, because each day they added to the bet. Well, Ricky's going to be outfitted for the rest of the week.
After Southern Cal fell to the Irish 10-6 last night, 91,000 here at the Coliseum. The throw is complete. A flag is down, however, as Stephon Page has the catch and Eddie Anderson the tackle.
That Raider coverage is so tight. They play that hard bump and run coverage all over the field, and the only advantage, there's illegal procedure, but the only advantage that the offensive team has is that the offensive receiver...
Illegal formation foul. Offense, only 6 men on the line of scrimmage.
That takes a first down catch away from Kansas City.
The receivers are covered so tightly all the way across the board that they can't, there's 6 men on the line, and boy, I can't read that one at all. I can't see any reason to call that.
So instead of a first down, it's a 3rd and 9. Down to Thomas, and his heave room. Rob Thomas.
Could you see that coming? Oh, boy.
Mike Harden and Torn Dorn had him well covered. And the punting team comes on, but first the flag is down in the backfield of the Chiefs.
Now that seam pattern should be caught about 20 yards deep. DeBerg threw it about 35, right into the safeties. You come back and plead with him. Don't do that again.
Full start. Number 77, offense. The play does not count.
No play.
Still 3rd down.
That negates the play because the penalty occurred before the snap.
Look at both people sandwiching. Oh, and Thomas is not a big guy, 175 pounds. That's part of being a receiver. The only thing you can live with is you can expect it to happen, account for it, so you almost prepare yourself physically even though you're right in the middle of the air.
5 minutes, 11 seconds left, first quarter, no score. 3rd down, 14 now, closer to 15. Good protection.
Batted ball.
One hopper. J.J. Burton was in the area, and once again, the Raider defense is held.
I think the only way to play this Raider team is to run shallow crossing patterns to get away from those tight bump and run people, because otherwise they're just too close to the ball when it comes down. It's just a physical style that they're so famous for.
Barker's first kick was not a good one. At the other end, the 87 Heisman winner from Notre Dame, Tim Brown, inside the 20. Wobbly and high. Brown is going to return. gets across the 25-yard line, and with it a timeout. Just under 5 minutes left in a scoreless first period. Quite a contrast in the weather difference from Kansas City with that hard driving sleet and rain as Christian Okoye being tended to that left wrist or hand. Raiders with the ball at their 26-yard line. Marcus Allen now, the tailback behind Smith, and that's Galt in motion. Allen tripped up at the 29. Marcus Allen, the all-time rusher in Raider history.
Strictly a Hall of Fame player at some point in his career, but you talk to him about Bo Jackson. And Marcus, and speaking of Bo, said he's the fastest, which everybody agrees, the fastest man probably ever to play the game for 20 yards. Explosive, quick, swift, and in his tackled, he gets his pads under the tackler, so he's always falling forward. So you have Bo with that swiftness and Marcus with the ability to read and break. What a great combination. It's just too bad you couldn't get them both in the game at the same time.
Steve Smith, the only back behind Schrader, and the big guy from Penn State, hammers his way close to a first down, may have fumbled. A scramble, and the Chiefs say they have it. Was it whistle dead?
Smith is usually back there just to block.
Kansas City recovers at the Raider 38-yard line.
Normally, Smith's just to blocking. I think they're just trying to break their pattern and their tendencies by running it, because he's usually there so that he can block and protect for Schrader. Breaking through the line. No, he does. Oh, it's lost real early. He lost that at the line of scrimmage.
Ron Cherry didn't get it. It was Dan Saliamua. Oh my, Saliamua now has recovered 5 fumbles this year and 10 in 2 years since he came to the Chiefs from Detroit, and now they're a plus 19 to lead the league in turnovers.
You look at their overall stats and you wonder why they do so well, but the turnover factor, plus 19 offensively. Now that is unbelievable.
They used the turnovers in the first game to win 9-7. Barry Word didn't get much at all.
You get that pursuit coming down the line, and it is the entire team. You see people walking back. You get Davis coming down the line, but Benson in particular, number 54, he's in a position as a linebacker to pursue and really be unblocked. And he comes right down that line of scrimmage right in front of us, does a beautiful job. By the design of the defense, the Raiders put Benson in behind Davis, and you really can't get a lineman out on him. So when the play goes to the opposite side, he's right down the line to make the stop. You see him lined up now, stacked in behind Howie Long.
Draw play to Word. Look at him pick his holes, and he was one man from possibly a touchdown as he's hit at the 27 after a gain of a dozen and a first down. Flag is down, holding Kansas City.
You know, the Chiefs have not been a great road team in recent years, even under Schottenheimer.
Holding number 53, offense. 10
Mike
yards,
Webster.
Second down.
So they've lost three out of 4 games this year on the road, yet they're playing with a lot of conviction today. Oh, I'll tell you, those are tough calls by the umpire to make, because they're so difficult, at least from our vantage point. If you're right down there with them, I guess you see them, but they're calling a tight game today, which makes it tougher to run, because so much of that run blocking, you have to sustain the block, and often you'll end up with an arm or something on the wrong side.
Second and 20, and Golick finally charges through and logs his 4th sack of the year. That was a coverage sack. They wanted to go to something quick. No one was open, and DeBerg then went to a secondary receiver, couldn't find one open, and Golick charged through the block of Webster.
You know, at Cleveland, here's a matchup of two great, in a sense, old-timers. At Cleveland, they took Golick out in passing situations, and that has disturbed him. He says the reason he has so much enthusiasm this year and feels so much a part of this team is they'll keep him in all situations, often in a passing situation. And that time, he took Webster and just body slammed him.
Third down and 27. Down the middle to Thomas, and almost intercepted. Well covered, and another flag is down.
Scott Davis was all over DeBerg. Just a full shot right down the middle. So the pass protection part of it for Kansas City just isn't holding up, but A lot of teams are having trouble with this front four. So you see a long inside, people coming outside, but look at Davis right through it.
Now, illegal motion against Kansas City, declined by the Raiders, who will now get the ball on the punt.
The Raider defense is awesome at this point in just coming up the field between offensive blockers. And at this point, Kansas City is just not able to hold them out. And DeBerg also is trying stuff well down the field, taking about an extra second before the pattern develops.
Ryan Barker hits a good one this time. Brown will take it right at the 10. What a play downfield, and a flag goes down as Todd McNair charging downfield to make an excellent tackle, dropping Brown for a yard loss after a 45-yard punt, and a flag right at the spot of the tackle. Might be that McNair was being pushed in the back as he was making the hit.
Well, this being backed up, Raiders playing excellent defense.
Illegal block, number 25, receiving team. While the kick was in the air, half the distance, first down, timeout.
2 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the first period. Timeout. No score.
What it takes to be a great coach, you see it right there. There's a certain volatility, a certain sense of urgency. Your players shouldn't be that comfortable around you at times, and Marty can express himself, exert himself, and that's why you've seen such a turnaround with the Kansas City Chiefs.
From the 4-yard line, it's Marcus Allen. Scrambling for 2 or 3 as they unpile. Derek Thomas and others making the tackle. Bill Moss down at the bottom of the pile. Rams have the early lead at Candlestick, and Phoenix still 7-0 late in the first against the Pats. Those are the other late games on a day thus far that has featured the underdog effort. Some long shot wins today.
Raiders playing excellent defense, but getting backed up. They're going to have to put something together, or just by a war of attrition, they'll finally have to give up points.
Well, they overcame the fumble at their own 38. Now it's Bo Jackson, and his first carry gets it to the 11-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 3. Derek Thomas, who made the Pro Bowl as a rookie last year after 10 sacks and has 15 and an NFL record this year, made the stop.
Bo Jackson coming into his own at this point in his career. Bo has such explosive movement. No one in the game has had that kind of explosive, quick movement. Now, his first 2 or 3 games, Dick, you don't quite see it, but once he gets in gear and so-called conditioned for football, then you start noting it, and as the season progresses, he'll be more and more effective.
Bo stays in the backfield, so does Marcus, but they send Marcus at a split receiver way out to the far side and give to Bo running in that direction. He draws a crowd. Bill Moss with Ron Cherry coming up from safety to make the tackle. And there's Cherry reading off some of the tips and as he studies the films, tendencies, and he seemed to know where that play was going and was there to make the hit.
Cherry has more knowledge of defensive football as a player than I've ever seen. And this includes Ronnie Lott, Carlton Williamson, Dwight Hicks, people that were Pro Bowl, all-pro players for the 49ers. Duran sat with us and just a litany of explanation as to what every tendency. He told us when Bo's in that backfield by himself, he gets the ball. So he's got a tendency to everything related to formation and history, position on the field, all of it.
Dick Enberg with Bill Walsh. Welcome back to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. We start the second quarter with the Raiders in punt formation, and they face the NFL's best in Albert Lewis, who has picked off 3 this year, 9 in his career. Let's see where he lines up. He's going to line up over on the far right side. Almost a quick snap, and Gossett sends a beauty toward J.J. Burton at the 46 of Kansas City. 45, 40, and out of bounds at the 35 of Los Angeles. 42-yard punt, 17 on the return. Gossett himself bumped Burton out of bounds.
The Raiders tried to get the ball off quickly before Kansas City could line up for their punt rush, and they got away with it. The punt was extremely good. It was kicked to an angle, but still it was caught and came down that sideline. That's just the quickness of Burton.
From the 36-yard line, Best penetration for either team. The Chiefs had it to 38 on the fumble recovery. Play action by DeBerg. It works. Then down the middle. Complete, and what a catch. Or was it? The ball is, they scrambled for it, and now they signal incomplete.
That had everybody fooled, me included, I know that. DeBerg did a beautiful job, but the throw was late. It was about a 5-yard distance related to how late it was. Just too far down the field, and the safeties were there to make the stop.
Emil Harry, a brave effort to try to catch that pass in traffic.
Now that was practice, I'm sure. Throughout the week, they knew they had something on the Raiders. When they fake this in here, you get Ricky Ellison way up into the line, Vincent into the line. You see Harry right down the middle, but it's thrown too late and too far inside. That's how well these kind of things have to be timed against a Raider defense that's so alert.
It's Barry Word breaking tackles. And the 240-pound Word from the University of Virginia has 11 yards and a first down at the 25.
He sure made the difference in that last game. 85 yards in less than 2 quarters against the Raiders the previous game, and he was the difference. And again here, he has a style, and he splits, comes right inside Howie Long, right by Ricky Ellison, and breaks down the field. Look how he puts his pads down and goes. That was 5 yards once contact had been made. Townsend coming through, just a little shot under the chin, just to make sure everybody is alert.
On the 25, a first down, Kansas City. No score early second quarter. Fake the Word. Incomplete. He had Thomas breaking free in the end zone. Didn't see him, along with
Stephon Page was wide open. I'm sure the coaches, Joe Pendry, the offensive coordinator, throw to Page, look quickly to him, get it to him, and Steve went to his outlet receiver way too early. Not enough confidence in Page, because they had their touchdown. Page had gotten inside McDaniel, and he had his score right there, and they're not going to get that many chances.
Thomas to the left, Page right, tight end Roberts and Hayes both on the right side. Then Roberts in motion. Contact before the snap, and there's no play.
DeBerg's snap counter cadence is something that's maddening for everybody. Certainly the defensive team, but I can recall with the 49ers, he pulled his own offense off the side. He got so cute with it.
Jerry Mark Bright sorting it out. Against whom?
Encroachment foul, number 75, defense, 5-yard penalty.
That's 2 strikes on Howie Long. It was so quick off the ball anyway.
Howie just can't play DeBerg like he normally plays a quarterback. Sometimes you can tell by the tightening of the shoulders, by the legs, anything. Howie's got a sense for it, but DeBerg is a master at pulling people off by the irregular cadence. And again, I say, his own team. I remember one touchdown pass to win over St. Louis one year. Meanwhile, DeBerg had pulled his own team off.
Barry Word running into traffic. Finally had him stopped, and then the finishing touch from Eddie Anderson coming up from the secondary. A gain of a couple. It'll be 3rd and 3 at the 18.
These runs are so stereotyped. You get that single running back, and you fan block it, you open block it, and start going down the line of scrimmage. Some teams will have a soft spot, and the ball carrier will be able to break back between people and take advantage of it. But the Raider front four and the linebacking is just too physical to get away with it. It's going to take a forward pass to get in that end zone.
See Jerry Robinson, who played here in the Coliseum as a UCLA Bruin All-America. 3rd and about 2.5. They just get it off. DeBerg has a man open. Incomplete in the end zone. Jerry Robinson takes it away from Todd McNair. Great coverage by Robinson. McNair twisting and turning, fighting the sun. Couldn't haul it in.
The Chiefs got everything they wanted. McNair, their best receiver out of the backfield, their utility man, against Robinson, sort of an aging veteran. But Robinson knew just the technique to use. He stayed underneath the throw, made it impossible, really, for Steve to throw an accurate ball over the top.
Nick Lowry, 9 points on 3 field goals and 3 tries. He leads the NFL in scoring, and it was his 3 field goals that added up to the 9-7 win over the Raiders at Arrowhead. This is a 35-yard attempt. And it is good. Just did slip it through on that left side. So the most accurate place kicker in NFL history. Nick Lowry is now 4 for 4 this year against the Raiders, and Kansas City has the early lead 3-0. Neither team able to move the ball, especially through the air early. But the punt return by Burton of 17 yards got Kansas City deep enough, and Nick Lowry nails the 35-yard field goal for the first score of the game.
The Chiefs have tried 4 plays, special plays for this game, and none of them have worked.
Here comes Jamie Holland with good speed and finally run out of bounds at the 43-yard line. So the Raiders get a good return as we send it to New York.
All right, Dick, and the first breakthrough in the Pittsburgh-New York Jets game comes here. Ken O'Brien pumps once, pulls it down, rolls right, throws on the run, hits the rookie out of Syracuse, Rob Moore. He makes a nice inside move, then outruns the other 2 defenders to the flag. 53-yard touchdown. Jets 7, Pittsburgh zip. Dick?
All right, Bob, and here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, 60 to 65,000 to see the rematch. Coliseum crowd, of course, cheering for the Raiders, who finally get good field position on the kick return. And Jay Schrader off play action, going to look for something big. Nothing there, throws to the sidelines, incomplete.
Just too late. The ball was thrown too late. Jay had protection. He set up. The pattern's going to be there. Everything looks good to Galt, and then he throws the ball really out of bounds. He's having trouble making up his mind quickly enough. Now you'll see excellent protection as he drops out of there. Nice job by everybody. Galt, a lot of clearance. He's holding the ball. Now he's way too late. I suppose that Galt was an outlet receiver, but you're going to have to time deep outs. You just can't wait and throw them late, and you saw the result. The defender's too close, and of course the sideline's too close.
Smith close to the 50-yard line. As we check our 10-minute ticker, all the scores in the NFL. Miami, as expected, a win, 9-2, but Philadelphia has handed the Giants their first defeat. Minnesota embarrasses the Bears. So 2 of the big 3 in the NFC have been beaten, and we'll see how the 49ers are faring. Indianapolis stunning Cincinnati at Riverfront. New Orleans a winner, and Green Bay has its 6th win against 5 losses. The Rams on a Buford McGee fullback pass leading in the second at San Francisco. Jets, as you just saw, in front of Pittsburgh, and Phoenix tied in their game with New England. 3rd down and 3. Over the middle and complete to Tim Brown. First down at the Kansas City 32. Kevin Ross made the tackle.
That's the first 3rd and 3 or more that the Raiders have gotten on Kansas City in 2 games. Last time they played, there were 1 out of 11, 1 out of 12 on 3rd and 3 or more. This is the first time they've got it, and Brown breaks from a slot position across the field, and they just can't stay with him. There he breaks very, very sharply, and you just can't stay with him. Once he gets that speed, Pearson has a hard time staying with it. Pearson's a 4.5, but Brown is a world-class speed guy. So those shallow crosses I spoke of in the first quarter are probably going to be the thing that break these defenses on 3rd down.
Deepest penetration for the Raiders to the 32 of Kansas City. Marcus Allen tripped up. Looks as if he ran right over the heels of his blocker, Steve Smith.
Both teams are so strong and quick on defense, they're right at the point of attack by the time the ball gets there. You can't point out any given man because everybody's over there. You can't sustain the block long enough. Neither team are willing to trap, which is something I personally believe should be a factor with any offense. Both teams are counting on their big, strong linemen to take their defender and sustain the block with him and break between them.
Bo Jackson way out to the left in this formation. We draw single coverage from Kevin Porter. They're going to throw to him. No, underneath it goes. As they sent Jackson deep to clear out and Vance Mueller over the middle, but the pass was off mark. Derek Thomas on the coverage.
Again, Schrader did not look to Bo, or he'd have thrown it. Bo was open. He went right out to Vance. A lot of the time, it's a matter of the quarterback having confidence in a receiver. Bo's coming straight off the field, slants in. Now, he's not a wide receiver, but look at that clearance. Just throw him the ball. Schrader had made up his mind before the ball was snapped. He'd been hitting Mueller in practice. and he did it in the game.
3rd and 9.
The Chiefs have done so well in this situation against the Raiders in the last couple of years, especially the last game.
Schrader, incomplete. Tried to hit Mervyn Fernandez. Albert Lewis, the cover man, and will this be a long field goal try? No, they're going to bring on the punting unit and Jeff Gossett.
At this point, Dick, it looks like a 9-7 game again. I thought the weather conditions being so much better out here, the passing games would get some results, but neither team is able to do anything with the pass.
They are going to go to the field goal. Jeff Jager in, and Gossett is his holder. This will be a 48-yard attempt. His longest this year is 49. To tie, Jager. Blocked! And that can return it. It takes a bounce to Lewis. He's got it at the 45 and tackled at the 42 of the Raiders. So blocking again the Chiefs. And when we come back, we'll locate the man who swatted that one back toward the Raider goal line. The Chiefs with another big kick block, and they have the lead 3-0. Watch right in the center of your picture. You can see the 3 of Bill Moss of 63. He's going to make a clean break in, and he smothers this field goal try, his 4th career block of a field goal.
Max Montoya turned to the outside. Todd Pete turned inside, and Moss really wasn't touched. And this is the difference in these two teams. The special teams of the Chiefs are so much more able and stronger. There's no question about it.
Here's Barry Word trying to get outside, and nothing there. Goes down and is down by Scott Davis for a loss at the 46 of 5 yards.
Kurt Schottenheimer, Marty's brother, has done a beautiful job with these special teams. No question about it. They've got speed, but the concept, the strategy itself has been so effective over the years. How many of these have we seen blocked, Dick? Just the games we've done. Punts blocked, field goals blocked. And the opposition knows it. They study it. But they come up with something every week that can make a difference.
And had that been a kinder bounce for Lewis as he talks it over, that was a touchdown. He just couldn't get the bounce. Leading 3-0, 8.5 minutes left in the first half. Kansas City with the ball. Word picking his holes and gets a few yards to the 43.
Now, Word is an excellent back. He's trying to pick his spots, and that time he ran about 3/4 speed looking for somewhere to break. And Golik was there, Davis was there, everybody just moved down the line with the blocker right to the ball.
85 yards by Word, the best by any rusher against that Raider defense this year. A reminder at the end of today's broadcast, McDonald's and NBC will be announcing the Ronald McDonald Children's Charities Player of the Game.
There's the shotgun, and no question what's going to happen. The receivers spread all over the field. And it's very, very evident that Chiefs automatically go to this on any 3rd down situation.
Out of the backfield, incomplete, broken up by Thomas Benson, intended for Todd McNair.
McNair on Benson, single man-to-man, and Benson's technique just staying slightly underneath McNair when he broke out so that he could just reach right in and bat the ball. I assume that at some point we will see McNair break to the flat, then turn up the field late in the game and hope that Benson bites on the same kind of a pattern. But in the meantime, the Raiders are just cutting down this cheap passing game, or the entire offense.
Barker delivers a dying spiral. Tim Brown, fair catch at the 10-yard line. So the Chiefs, they've had a fumble recovery at the Raiders' end and a blocked field goal in a recovery, but haven't been able to produce more. 7 minutes, 29 seconds left in the first half. Chiefs 3 on a 35-yard Lowry field goal. Schrader and the Raiders yet to score. But the defense has denied Kansas City twice on breaks for the Chiefs. Bo Jackson caught by the tail and twisted down by Kevin Porter. Got him by the caboose and denied a long run. And we get a report from San Francisco. The Rams have scored again and lead the 49ers 14-0. And here are the other late scores. Los Angeles trying to do to San Francisco what the Eagles were able to offer the Giants. 7-0 Jets and 14-7 now Phoenix in the second. Here 3-0.
That last play, you knew that Bo wanted to cut back, and Kevin Porter was sitting right there waiting for him. So he was filling a backside gap as a safety.
Schrader over to Jackson, and it's a first down at the 25-yard line. Only the third catch this year by Bo Jackson. We start working him into their passing game. Oh, watch out.
That was the slant we'd seen earlier in which Schrader threw to Mueller in the flat. But now he runs the same slant, breaking to the inside, and Kevin Porter can't stay with him, a defensive back, and that's a good catch. In that open field, the ball coming right at your body is not something you typically do as a running back. We always had trouble with our running backs catching those kind of patterns, even though they were open. But Bo, the great athlete he is, just took it in stride.
First down for Schrader. Bo Jackson the call. Slips out of one tackle and gets 2 or 3. Derek Thomas downs him. Let's go to Bob Costas for this report.
Well, the temperature is better than 80 degrees in Phoenix, and the Cardinals have been fairly hot, at least in the first half. They lead 14-7 now over the Patriots after this 2-yard run by Tim Rosenbaugh, their quarterback, who just got inside the flag. So the 2-8 Cardinals lead the 1-9 Patriots 14-7. Dick?
All right, Bob, and here 3 is enough for Kansas City to have the lead. They've not scored a touchdown in their 2 meetings with the Raiders, and yet they have to win the first go-round. Steve Smith.
So tough. You know, Dick, this surface, they had the Southern Cal Notre Dame game last night on this surface. It's slow today. It really is. They had to water the field slightly. They had to roll it and try to level it off again after that game. And this field is slow for these running backs. So compounding the slow field with really great defensive football at this point in the season by both teams, there's just nothing occurring on that field. It's still going to take a big play somewhere for one of these teams to score a touchdown. They're not going to drive and do it.
In their first meeting, when it was 3rd and 3 or more, the Raiders made only 1 of 11 first downs. This is 3rd and 3.
We've seen one of them earlier on in the first half, but again, they get another chance. Part of it's because Schrader is just not getting the ball off quickly enough. I think that's a big part.
Timeout called by Kansas City. Something they didn't like. Perhaps they were shy a man.
This 3rd and 3, you see some statistics. 1 out of 11 the last time the teams played 3rd and 3 or more, which meant the Raider passing game, some of those might have been 3rd, 7, 8, or 9, but 1 out of 11 is it's almost a hopeless combination. Now you get down to 3rd and 2, now that big offensive line with Marcus or Bo over the top, they can do that. But this is the toughest factor for the Raiders, and this is really a key to their success this year. They're going to have to make these situations come alive and get something done.
Going to pass on 3rd and 3. Great protection. Wide open is Tim Brown. 40, 30, out of bounds at the 18, 17-yard line. 51 yards on the play.
Tim must have lost his man early. There isn't any question about it. He gets wide open, and down the field, J.C. Pearson is going to get cut off down the field. Right here is the play, and Pearson's going to get cut off, and he can't stay with the coverage. So if you see the break to the inside, you see the tight end coming out, walling off, and there's that big hole. And Pearson knew he was beaten. He took a deep angle just to be able to make that stop. What speed. Wow.
Second longest pass play of the year for the Raiders, only their second over 40 yards. Schrader looking for 6, and Fernandez not tall enough. Albert Lewis on the coverage.
Ethan Horton wide open, uncovered, but Jay wanted to hit that slant, and he just stayed right with it.
Second longest pass play for Art Shell, and this is a team, of course, built on that stretch the defense with a long bomb, and prior to today, only 1 pass beyond 40. The Chiefs with 3, including a 90-yarder to J.J. Burton that really set up the win against San Diego last week.
The receivers are averaging 18, 19 yards a catch. As a team, they're averaging 15 yards per catch, which is probably a league high, but they're not scoring with those plays.
Here comes Bo. Gets to the corner. And is finally wrapped up by Duron Sherry at the 6-yard line. That'll be 1st and goal for the Raiders.
They've got some problems on the field. the one thing the Raiders can't afford now. They had a little altercation down to right this minute. But here's look at Marcus Allen coming off the wingback position. Ethan Horton making an excellent block. And then it's just Bo's speed just bursting to the outside. Bo just couldn't get back underneath. But Dick, did you see just a minute ago, we didn't get it on our camera, an altercation right at this point on the field. All the Raiders needed was a 15-yard penalty to knock them out of field goal position. This may be their chance right here to win this game.
3:38 left in the first half. From the 6. Vincent Edward Jackson, no gain. Leonard Griffin was the man who penetrated, and then Kevin Porter, 27, made the tackle.
Griffin exploded across the line, split two people. Wisniewski and Mospar split them and just disrupted the entire play. So the Kansas City defense, they stayed in their basic 3-4 alignment, but then they brought people to the inside and got there before the blockers did.
Loss of a yard. 2nd and goal at the 7. Smith and Jackson now behind Schrader. Delay to Bo. Almost twisted away, and Jeff Donaldson hanging on to that 230 pounds of dynamite. Bo Jackson able to wrestle him down.
Jeff had to get it done at 188 pounds himself. He was the last person that even had a shot at it. Look him come to the outside. Thomas, look at this, barely makes a hold on it. Jackson is so strong in the thighs and the calves that it's tough to remain with him, to stay with him. And talking with the guys before the game, Albert Lewis and Kevin Ross, they speak of getting both legs or you get no legs, because with one of them he can pull free.
You saw the sidelines, Kansas City wanting time, and that is now acknowledged. The second timeout spent by Marty Schottenheimer. It comes with 2:07 left in the half. Trailing 3-0, this drive began at the Raider 10-yard line, and it's now 3rd and goal at the 3. Marcus Allen is the setback, and it's Allen driving into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders.
That was a beautiful job. Marcus Allen extended the last 3 yards really just on effort alone and on his skill of getting underneath tackle. Now Wisniewski and Graves did a fine job of just giving a little grease to him, but he came through that. This is why he'll be a Hall of Fame player. Counter step with a pulling tackle to the outside right, and then he slips right between it. But really, it wasn't Wright's block as a pulling tackle. It was his ability to get underneath it all.
Out 90 yards in 10 plays, and the lead as Jaeger tries the point after. 7-3 Los Angeles. 2:03 remaining in the first half. Marcus Allen has scored again. Here's that kickoff return by Fred Jones at full speed. Look at this darting move to his left. Boom. And that clears his way. And Elvis Patterson, who's made a couple of very big tackles on special teams, saving a possible long run by Jones, who was shaken a bit but appears to be okay. 48-yard line, Kansas City begins. Remember, they used 2 timeouts on defense in that last drive. 1:51 left. They trail now 7-3. Bird from the gun. As a man, Stephon Page, and he's tackled at the 44-yard line, and that catch extends Stephon Page's streak. 75 straight games he's had a reception.
That was one of the rare times the Raiders have been in a zone defense, and Page read it, set down, and the Bird threw the ball on time. But Robinson, people came flying to that ball. Harden and Anderson were there almost as it was caught.
2nd down along 2. Nice catch on the far side by Burden, who was a track star at Oregon, was the Pacific 10 long jump champion at 25 feet 8 inches.
He's really come on, hasn't he? They really, even in just the 2 weeks that since we've seen him, Burden has become a major factor, and he's really taken the job of Emil Harry.
Down to the 1 minute mark, first half. First down play. Underneath to McNair, wide open, and he's to the 19-yard line.
Oh, that prevent defense. You know, everybody in the country wonders why go to it, why go to it. The first two plays, the Raiders ran a three-man rush, and it gave DeBerg all the time he needed. The Raiders in a zone defense are going to back people out of there, and all you'll see is Jones come out late, break right into the middle. There'll be no one there. And the Raiders didn't account for him for some reason. You see, a man short in the zone because they rushed 4 instead of 3. So the Chiefs called just the right play. The Raiders rushed that extra man and lost a zone defender in the middle.
There goes Fred Jones limping back to the locker room. Todd McNair with his 23rd catch of the year, giving the Chiefs the first down at the 19. Trailing 7-3, no timeouts left now. DeBerg, trouble with the snap, then throws, intercepted. Or did Anderson catch it? No! He had it right in his mitts and couldn't tuck it away. But in fairness to Anderson, many thought he would not even play today. He had a lot of blood drawn from an injured thigh yesterday.
DeBerg mishandled the snap looking down the field. He gets up and just slings it over in that direction. Anderson standing right there for the ball. And Thomas couldn't even get a play on it. It was just too far out in front of him. The Chiefs got mighty lucky on that one.
DeBerg has been intercepted only 3 times, and this one should have been number 4.
Anderson was so surprised with that, he didn't have his eye on the ball when it came to him. .45 seconds left, first half. Good protection. Into the end zone, has a man. Touchdown, Emil Harry. The former Stanford star who grew up here in Southern California makes the over-the-shoulder catch, and the Chiefs take the lead. Harry made a beautiful catch on an excellent pattern, and it was his release from the line of scrimmage that really made the difference. He caught underneath his defender and then broke across the field, and the ball was just beautifully, softly touched right into the middle.
His second touchdown catch of the year. He's the number 2 receiver on the season for the Chiefs with 27 catches now. And here's the try for point by Lowry. Kansas City down 7-3, less than 2 minutes to go. Drives it right down, 52 yards in 5 plays to recapture the edge at 10-7.
It's the release from the line of scrimmage. Harry makes right here that gets him open across the field, and he loses his defender. It's a beautiful release, and then see DeBerg's pass. He just drops it right up over the top. Nice soft touch. One time, the Raiders didn't have any push inside on DeBerg. He had room to step forward and throw the ball, and that gave him a chance to accurately throw it. Earlier in the game, the Raiders had been right down the middle on DeBerg, and he couldn't step forward for the ball.
They picked on the rookie Gary Lewis, the 7th-round pick from Alcorn State. Steve DeBerg having his best season ever in the NFL, has taken his team to a quick strike, and with 39 seconds left in the half, a 10-7 lead.
That shows you, Dick, that all phases of defense are so important. The Raiders have been dominating against the run, dominating against the short pass, but the 2-minute offense, or even less than a minute by the Chiefs, the Raiders didn't stand up to that.
Well, the kickoff return by rookie Fred Jones set up that drive as he got the ball out to the 48. Now the Raiders, with all their timeouts, wait for Lowry to send it in the air. Spins to the far side to Ron Brown, the former Olympian. He's got a little daylight, and waiting was Bill Jones and Jeff Donaldson to make the tackle at the 33-yard
Now we'll get
line.
a chance to look at the other prevent defense. 34 seconds, a couple of big plays, and you might get a field goal out of it.
Rader. What a catch by Ethan Horton. One hands the ball as he was falling down for a gain of 9 or 10 yards. What a catch by Horton.
Call a timeout.
And they do with 17 seconds finally.
Again, Schrader was looking at the play. He had 3 timeouts. Just call one of them. Anytime you're under a minute, you have to start using your timeouts as fast as you possibly can.
But that catch by Horton, even though it was good for only 9-10 yards, was one of the better catches you'll see. You know, Shell trying to get attention. The big man, quiet man, the leader, his strength is really in the fact that he doesn't raise his voice. He has the respect and attention of this team. But here he had to take it to a different level.
Well, you want the quarterback to take the field telling him, any completion you get now, call a timeout when you have less than a minute. You have to use them. You lose 4 or 5 seconds, that's one more play you've lost.
Montana has just hit John Taylor 5 yards, and it's 14-7 Rams at San Francisco late in the first half. They'll measure for a first down on the catch by Horton. And
well, they're going to have to go down the field and get a timeout as soon as they complete the pass. They lost about 6 or 7 seconds on that last delay in calling it.
And it is a first down. Horton, a well-earned 10 yards on his first catch of the day. So 17 seconds left. Time for a couple of plays to try to get at least into field goal range. Jager's range is around 50, so that means getting it to the 33-yard line of Kansas City.
Well, this won't be a Hail Mary, I don't believe. It'll be something with these three people at the bottom of the screen sprinting down the field, and then Gold or somebody coming back underneath the other two.
Schrader eludes the rush. And
there it is.
Gold at the 30, fumbles the ball. Picked up by Kevin Ross, but they've called the play dead. They say that Gold was down. The ground created the fumble.
Well, we got it. Everybody straight up the field, and Galt stopping at about 25 and coming in, and Schrader hitting him. Now, that's the one pattern that Schrader can throw so well with that strong arm. And Galt couldn't do much with it, and maybe they're going to replay to see if he actually caught it.
They down him at the 32, which would make it about a 49-yard field goal. With 6 seconds left, they're going to go for another play.
Schrader does an excellent job coming underneath, then throws that ball, and Galt by now is pulled up inside the defenders. And if he knows if he can just get another 5, he's got 3 points.
He was already down before the tackle, so there's no danger of them losing that ball on a reversal.
Well, all I can do now, Dick, is break someone sharply into the flat running, throw, catch the ball, and run right out of bounds. That's about all they can do at this point. Because I'm not sure they can get a timeout called quickly enough with any other kind of pass.
Yeah, and I'm sure Marty Schottenheimer's telling his defensive backs just that, be conscious of that play to the outside.
He's got to be right down the line, throwing the ball, and the receiver just continuing right out of bounds. They can get another 5 or 6 yards that way. And maybe that'll be the difference for the 3 points.
Gary Markbright. It sounded as if he was about to turn on his microphone, but no reversal, as that was obvious that Galt was already down. They put 3 seconds back on the clock, so there's 9 seconds now.
Well, that gives them their chance.
That's a big difference.
So they can catch a ball now and get a timeout call.
1 timeout left for the Raiders, trailing 10-7. More offensive action in the last 3 minutes of this first half than the first 27. Flags are down, and Schrader threw that one away. There's the flag. There wasn't an eligible receiver anywhere near Schrader, only a lineman, Montoya.
Well, he really wasn't in danger of being sacked, though, Dick. I mean, he was running to the outside. There wasn't anybody there. He could have run with the ball. Now, that interpretation of the rule would sort of startles you. He didn't have to throw that pass. And that's how the rule's supposed to be interpreted.
Illegal hands to the face, number 31 defense. Intentional grounding on the offense. Penalties offset.
Oh, that was their chance
First
right
down
there.
Again.
And Schrader was not in danger of being sacked. He was clearly outside of everybody and wanted to stop the clock.
Well, they'll have to go for the field goal with only 4 seconds remaining. And this one will be about 49 yards. Jaeger tried one from 48 that was smothered by Big Bill Moss. This one would tie. He's missed only 3, counting the one today, all season, 10 for 13. It'll be 50 yards, 50. His longest attempt of the year. Good leg. He's got it. On the last play of the half, Jeff Jaeger drills a 50-yarder. And this game is tied at 10 at the intermission. We'll be right back after this word from the NFL and from your local station.
Welcome back to NFL Live. We only have a short period of time here, so let's zip through all the information we can in the next 2.5 minutes, beginning with some highlights from earlier today. The disastrous season continues for Art Modell's Cleveland Browns. They're now 2-9, and they've lost 6 games in a row. Dan Marino riddled them in the first quarter today. A pair of touchdown passes early, including this 35-yard beauty to James Pruitt. Dolphins now 9-2, looking for help tomorrow night when Buffalo visits Houston. Philadelphia psyched up at home in Veterans Stadium going against the previously unbeaten Giants. On 4th down in the second quarter, Randall Cunningham sneaks it across, and they take a 14-7 lead. Then in the fourth quarter, a close game is blown open. They led only 17-13 when the ball began to bounce their way. Fred Barnett had caught a long touchdown pass earlier from Randall Cunningham. Can't hold on to this one, but it takes a friendly bounce to Calvin Williams for the TD. 24-13. Then Phil Simms tries to rally the Giants. He'd been intercepted only twice all year. This one is batted behind the line and into the hands of Byron Evans. It's a game-breaking 22-yard interception return for the touchdown. Philly has beaten the Giants 5 of their last 6 meetings. Giants undefeated no more, 31-13. And the 6-game Bear losing streak has disappeared, and Jerry Burns' revitalized Vikings have won 4 in a row. They're back in the wild card chase at 5-6. Rich Gannon threw 3 touchdown passes, including this one to
and his strides have been stopped. He couldn't do anything with it. He couldn't reach over anybody.
Bill Jones, the blocking back in front of Okoye, is the injured Chief with 5:17 left in the third. In a struggle for the top spot in the AFC West, the Chiefs and the Raiders tied at 17. 5:15 left in the third period as quarterback Schrader waits for his turn. Steve DeBerg has a first down at his own 26. Back at the 27. Throws for Stephon Page as he splits the seam and gets out to the 49. Lionel Washington made the tackle. 22 yards on the play.
Earlier in the game, DeBerg waited too long to get this ball off. This time he fakes inside very nicely, then throws the ball right between defenders, splitting a zone, and Washington comes over and makes the stop. Now that was a beautifully timed throw, but Stephon had to make that catch in traffic, and earlier in the game he was sandwiched. And that shows the kind of courage he's got. You know, Bill Jones out of there hurts worse than losing Okoye or Word, one or the other, because Jones is a critical blocker. Consequently, DeBerg is going with 3 receivers instead of 2 running backs.
DeBerg appeared to change plays and goes to the run and into Raider territory. Drives Christian Okoye to the Los Angeles 47. Bob Golick made the tackle.
It looks as though the Chiefs have been forced out of their basic run game with Bill Jones in there as a blocker, and they're going to a 3-receiver attack with Okoye or most likely Barry Word later as we progress to deal with it, because they don't have another blocking back as such.
Second down, 6.
DeBerg changing the play.
6 seconds on the play clock. 3 seconds. They won't get it off. Now, Bill, there's a case. Wouldn't you almost be better off taking the 5-yard penalty than losing a precious timeout?
You probably would.
Kansas City.
I wonder what the call would have been where DeBerg had to make a call, to yell to so many people, to the back behind him, to the receivers, to one side or the other. Typically, even with this crowd noise, especially here in the Coliseum, it's so spread out, the noise isn't that much a factor.
Timeout comes at the 3:34 mark, so let's go to Bob Costas and NFL Live.
Well, Dick, New England and Phoenix were tied at 14 apiece at halftime. Then an Al Del Greco field goal gave Phoenix the lead, and then right up the middle goes Tim Rosenbaugh on this play, 6 yards for a touchdown, his second rushing TD of the day, and the 2-8 Cardinals lead the 1-9 Pats 24-14.
All right, Bob, here, 17 all. And Steve DeBerg has spent one of those 3 timeouts.
DeBerg has got full command of this offense, calling line blocking. Look, he's upset at his guy. He's upset at David Lutz because Lutz shouldn't have called it. They can take the 5-yard penalty. It's not up to a lineman to make that call. And Lutz got hot.
DeBerg throwing and completes it. It is to
Beautiful.
Page again, much like the play that got them out of their own end, a first down at the 22 of the Raiders.
Well, Harden is supposed to be over there to help on that seam pass. And DeBerg is letting Page release straight up the field. And you'll see a slight fake, but to Word, that doesn't matter. But look at the throw. He throws it right over the top. And Washington can't quite make that play. But you need the safety. You need Anderson or Harden to intersect that pass. Especially with DeBerg looking right at it for a good period of time before he throws it.
17 all. Now the Chiefs have driven deep into Raider territory.
These are beautifully called plays by Joe Pender, the offensive coordinator. They really are.
A little delay, and it's Barry Word trapped in his backfield, and Mike Harden makes the stop for a yard loss.
It looked as though the pulling guard on that play got so deep that Word had nowhere to go. I believe it was David Lutz, and I think he adjusted his course to the defender rather than running a full-speed course. So you see the whole play upset. Lutz is getting so much depth, and he sort of trips and falls. I guess he's trying to cut down Greg Townsend.
Now Schottenheimer comes in with his flush formation. That's McNair in the backfield and 4 wide receivers. Actually, Word stays in, not McNair. Draw, big hole, but it closes well.
Ricky
What a
Ellison.
play. Ellison saved a big game.
Ricky was just zeroed in on Word, and he just came right over and made the stop. No one even attempted to block it. So Ricky's man was that fullback. You see Ricky number 50 stepping, just watching him, then penetrating right inside of Scott Davis and making the play.
Well, if they'd have pinned off Ellison.
Oh, it was gone. Yeah,
No
it
one
was gone.
downfield. Ellison, very bright guy, works with Lockheed, the Star Wars program, as a research analyst in the offseason. Well, DeBerg down to the 20-yard line. That'll please his son, who wants him to run more, but
He got
that
his
won't
chance.
please the Chiefs to see that picture. It looks as if he has a cramp.
Well, Steve was thinking 3 points. The instant he started to run, he wanted to get in closer for the 3 points. He knew he wasn't going to score. Looks like a cramp. He's trying to pull that toe up. Now this is by design. You see Alt knock his man down. Lutz coming around the corner, and Steve was to throw the ball. But when he saw he couldn't get it thrown, he just went for as many yards as he could get, help set up the field goal. And it looks like a cramp.
Does not appear to be serious, although it's certainly painful enough, as those of you who experience that same kind of injury would attest. DeBerg having such a banner year. 3 interceptions all season. In fact, he's been intercepted in only 1 game all year. Indianapolis got all 3.
He said 2 of those were right at the end of the game. They're trying to win it in the last quarter. So really 1 truly legitimate interception. And this is in contrast to Steve's history. But look at him smiling there. This guy is the most easygoing, competitive guy.
Let's get a little on-camera time here. Good-looking guy. Was a outstanding pole vaulter in high school in California. Grew up in the Southern California in Anaheim.
San Jose State semi-grad, I believe they call us. But he's just stayed with the game, one of those real campaigners. He knows this entire offense. He's at the line calling the line blocking at times, directing receivers where to go, the check with me runs, which means he calls the run related to the defensive front. He has full command, and we talked about Steve Pallure, his backup, and Steve is light years behind him in command of what they do. If Pallure is to play, you can expect Pallure to do a lot of spontaneous running rather than reading defenses and throwing the ball. Pallure is an excellent runner.
That last play, Pallure with his speed and size, that could have been a first down, but now it's going to be a field goal try. You saw Pallure because he is the holder and is kneeling at the 26. So a 36-yard attempt by Lowry, who started the scoring today with a 35-yard field goal. NFL's leading scorer this year is Lowry with all those field goal chances. 22 for 25 prior to this kick. This to give the Chiefs the lead.
If you want to win a game with 1 kick, this is the guy to have.
It is just good, and twice today he's just skidded it through on the inside of that upright. So Lowry's toe, or instep as it may well be, gives Kansas City the lead by 3. Well, we just examined the leg of Steve DeBerg, who's in his 14th year. Those hands look as if they've been around the league. Kansas City, in posing for their media guide, went to the real McCoy, didn't they?
This is the guy. How many years did he play?
17 years now. Mike Webster.
They took him out. Took him out in the mud to pose for the picture. And he rolled around in the mud to make sure he was really dirty for this picture. He wanted it to be real. He wanted to be the real thing.
Well, Webster indeed is all of that the real thing. Here's the kickoff going to Ron Brown. Spinning down at the 22-yard line. Danny Copeland got a piece of him on the special teams.
Brought down at the 22.
Well, we get a chance to see some forward passing now because running the ball on obviously and picking and choosing to do it is fine, but Schrader's going to have to get this team down the field, throw the ball. There's plenty of time, but they're going to have to get big chunks of yardage. Plenty of time to do it.
Look at the finals from earlier today as Philadelphia beat the Giants. Bears lost big. Indianapolis upset Cincinnati. Now the Montana's thrown another touchdown pass. Pittsburgh leads the Jets by 10. Here it's Kansas City by 3. Fernandez, first down at the 39. Mervin Fernandez, first catch of the game, 17 yards in front of Albert Lewis.
Fernandez hasn't been doing that much. It's not him. They haven't been getting him the ball. He's averaging 17 yards a catch. He's got 3 touchdowns, 37 catches, but I'm sure they'd prefer they be up around 40 to 50 catches. Now that's a nice job inside. Nice throw by Schrader. Very well done. You can expect the Raiders to open up this passing game now because they're getting protection.
Well, the Raiders in no hurry to run off a play as the final seconds of the third period tick away. The end of 3. Kansas City by 3. We start the fourth quarter from the Coliseum in Los Angeles to Cambric with Bill Walsh. And what was a very closely played defensive struggle, the first half of the final 2 minutes has opened up, and the Chiefs with a 2017 lead. Schrader and the Raiders begin at the 40. Both Jackson and Allen are in there, and here comes Bo, breaking tackles and trying to use his speed to get outside and finally run out of bounds. And a flag goes down as apparently they felt the tackler Ross should have let go of Jackson.
There was just a little extra shove in there. That didn't look that flagrant, but the officials are really sensitive now about out-of-bounds hits, the late hit. When it's obvious the ball carrier is clearly out of bounds, they try to make contact with him.
And in some ways, you get over there that slippery footing. It's almost hang on so you don't fall.
Face mask foul on the end of the run. 5 yards. We're going to replay the down. It's still first down and 3.
Bo's speed just really can't help him here. There's just too many people out flanking him. Kevin Ross, it really didn't grab it. I think they were a little bit sensitive for that call. But talking about Schrader, the last few games, as we saw those statistics, he just hasn't produced what you need to have a winning game. You notice the last 3 games, 42%, no touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and he's going to have to improve his performances for the Raiders to really seriously look at the championship game.
First down and 3 as he had gained 2 and then they added the 5. Marcus Allen gets the first down as he charges to the Kansas City 46.
Wisniewski and Graves took their guys and just drove them back and sustained the blocks, allowing Marcus to get some running room. And I don't think there's anybody in football like Marcus who can pick a spot, find it, and not lose any speed as he gets there. Even Bo will stop and start, certainly Okoye and even Word, but Marcus just slides in between people. And all you have to do is sustain your block, and he'll find that little crease.
We should point out that 2 of the defensive stars are not in there for Kansas City. Derek Thomas and Deron Cherry are on the sidelines. Both with knees. Not serious, but no hint that they're going to return either. Schrader all day, and finally coming up to wrap him up is Dino Hackett, the inside backer who is the leading tackler of this Kansas City team once again this year.
He's really small for that spot. Dino weighs about 235.
225, he told us.
225. Well, he comes in at 235, and by now he's down to 225. He has a heck of a time holding and containing his weight. He eats everything. God, wouldn't that be good, Dick?
He's my idol.
Yeah, I love it.
Especially this time of the year. Probably the lightest inside linebacker in the game, he said.
They try to protect him. They try to play him like the Raiders played Benson, where there really isn't anybody to block him from his position.
Marcus wrapped up at the 46. That was a sack on the Hackett play, which gives Kansas City 4 today. They started with 37, so they built their NFL lead to 41 in harassing the opposing quarterback.
Schrader, I think, on that last 2 plays ago, where they sacked, I think he thought he could run, and he didn't even see Hackett sitting there.
Saw Thomas back in the lineup now for Kansas City. Raiders go with 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 10. 2 of 5 and 3rd and 4 more today. He breaks free. And he has the first down and more to the 30-yard line. 16 more yards for Schrader on the scramble.
I'm sure the Raiders staff, Al Davis included, are glad to see Schrader be spontaneous like this. He's been programmed too much. You see Marcus Allen come all the way over and hit Martin. That gives Schrader a chance to get out of there. Now whatever speed he's got, he tries to just relax and run.
33 yards for Schrader on 3 runs today, and
you need that dimension, Dick. You really do. Neither team have really had that. Certainly not DeBerg or Schrader. And if they can get just a little bit of that spontaneity, there'll be a play like this, a broken play that they can get yards on.
Jackson split way out to the bottom of your screen, and Schrader's looking for ball, overshoots him. Well, Jeff Donaldson was coming over from that free safety position to double cover on Jackson, and Schrader figured, that wouldn't have been a wise choice. He had to hit him earlier.
Well, with Jackson, they've had that twice. The first one, they didn't throw it to him, if you remember, in the first quarter. Then they hit Jackson, but after that, Dick, you can't go to that kind of play a 3rd time. When you put Bo out there, they know he's going to run a slant. They get inside of him, and that's the end of the play. Those kinds of things you only can do 1 or 2 times at most, then you go on to something else.
Trailing 20-17. Raiders 2nd and 10 at the Kansas City 30. Fumble, and Mike Bell has recovered for Kansas City.
Oh boy, the ball he just dropped the ball. He didn't. That's the 2nd time that's happened. He went up through traffic and he just dropped the ball. There's no other explanation for it.
Greg Meister, 69, was the man pressuring Schrader out of the cup. Reached and knocked it away.
Yeah, the ball just goes. The quarterback has to keep both hands in the ball when he's in traffic. Whenever he's moving through traffic.
Well, nice to see that Bill Walsh brought his fan club. Kansas City forcing 3 fumbles, 2 by Schrader, a blocked field goal, and 5 sacks, and maintain a 3-point lead. 4th quarter at the Coliseum. They start from the 21. Mike Bell recovering the fumble. There goes Howie Long. Is this the 3rd offside on Long, who has been pulled offside 2 previous times on that snap count of Steve DeBerg?
Howie's trying to get inside of Rich Baldinger before Rich can get a step started.
Number 75, defense, 5 yards, 1st down.
He's so quick anyway, perhaps as quick as anyone off the ball in the NFL at that position.
But again, look at DeBerg's helmet jar just a little bit. Just move a little bit. Howie moved on that helmet and not on the ball.
Bill Jones, you saw, took the bump from Long, so in a way, bad news for Jones, but good news for Chiefs fans. He's okay, and is back in the game as the blocking back in front of Barry Word. Word into the pile and close to the 35-yard line, and let's go to New York. NFL Live, and this update from Bob.
Dick, here's Bubby Brister's 2nd touchdown pass of the day, a 3-yarder to Lewis Lips. And now Pittsburgh is cruising against the Jets. Look at Brister evade the rush. He threw it a lot more than 3 yards before hitting Lips in the back of the end zone. Pittsburgh now with a 24-7 lead. If they win, they're 6-5, tied with Cincinnati for 1st in the AFC Central. And if Houston beats Buffalo tomorrow night, it's a 3-way tie, Dick.
Yeah, that Central Division, Bob, has That kind of look all season long, doesn't it? Those three teams battling away in Cleveland at the bottom, 2 and 9. Second down and 2. Good fake by DeBerg, and he's going to go long for Stephon Page. What a catch, and then he can't hang on. Looked as if he was going to steal it from Lionel Washington.
Washington, an excellent defensive back, just timed his jump when that ball got there. Although Page had inside position, boy, DeBerg throws late and high, and look at the timing. Beautiful job of just sort of mixing his arm through Page, and Page had no way to hold on to the ball. Now, DeBerg certainly could have run for his first down there. That's one of those features in a quarterback, if they will run, just to sustain the attack. Steve could have run around that corner for 8 or 10 yards.
Third down and 2. Kansas City hurrying to the line of scrimmage. 6 seconds, 5-4 on the play clock. 1, they just get it away. The quickie is complete to Thomas, and the little wide receiver from Oregon State has the first down shy of the 40.
Thomas was inside 2 other receivers, and really it was the old-fashioned pick play.
One of the linesmen taking the brunt of that charge.
That's the one where you try to act like it doesn't bother you.
Appeared to be Leo Miles, the head linesman, yes. He's okay. Hang in there, Leo.
Now, Thomas was in motion. Now he breaks back out inside his other 2 receivers, and you see the traffic to the inside, and so coming to the outside, McDaniel just couldn't get there in time. And, oh, boy.
Tackler and Thomas wiping out 3 or 4 men, and as Miles gathers himself, field goal by Mike Kofer with a minute 20 left in the third, and 49ers are within 4. And as you heard Bob, Pittsburgh building on their lead now 24-7. It appears Phoenix will beat New England. Patriots still stuck on 1 win. First down, Kansas City. Under 11 minutes left, fourth quarter. 3 fumbles by the Raiders have slowed them down, and Kansas City leads 2017. And again
it's DeBerg. He's using a sort of a head bob and getting people to move. This time it was Bob Golick.
79 defense, 5 yards, first down.
As I say, DeBerg's a master of changing that count. Watch his helmet as it moves. See that? The helmet and the chest, the inflection, and Bob Golick moves. As I say, early in his career with the 49ers, he'd do that, and the 49ers would move.
Well, you called it early. He's one of the best at it. That's 4 5-yard penalties that DeBerg has drawn with that snap count. Here comes Barry Word, and down he goes after a yard gain. We talked about before, but it's also not only the body movement, but the inflection. Tell me how that goes again.
Well, if it's on 3, you start with a hut. Then the second hut is hut, and then hut was the center snaps the ball on 3, but you've got people to move on the second hut. How'd that sound, Dick?
Well, pretty good. You drew me offside, and I'm on your team, so it's 5 the other way.
Everybody up here moving.
From the 45, second and 4. Word. Oh, he made 2 after he was hit. Looked as if he'd go down at the 46. Got out to the 49, where it'll be 3rd and 1. Kansas City, when they run the ball, they win. And when they run it 30 times or more, they're perfect. We'll count up Dennis Medician, our statistician, how many rushes so far today for Kansas City. Well, there it is. 20 times is all. Only 50 yards against a team, the Raiders, that allowed Miami only 14 yards on Monday night. They are tough against the run. We're going to measure.
At this point, I don't think it's the Chiefs running that's doing it. It's just being opportunistic, blocking the field goal. That would have been 3 points, and then 2 fumbles that I can think of. But those are the kinds of things the Chiefs have been winning on this year, and the Raiders have fallen victim to. Barry Word, by the way, 240 pounds. Has he turned into a great back?
Now, this is a man that at 220 pounds was a 13.8 high hurdler and was good enough to qualify for the Olympic trials. 220 pounds. That gives you an idea of his agility. Kansas City, 3rd and link on the chain from a first down. Okoye to the 50. That'll be enough. Not much, but he only needed an inch, and he got a yard.
Well, he had Eddie Anderson and Mike Harden right on top of the stop, but Okoye at 260 pounds looks like he got that extra foot or two, barely.
That'll be first down at the 50-yard line for Kansas City, and the clock continues to tick away. 8:49, 8:48 left, fourth period.
You know, Barry Word, what a difference between when we saw him in that preseason game in Berlin until now, just in his composure, his confidence, his maturity. He's established himself on the team, all the doubts behind him.
It's Word outside, running room. Look at him go at 240 to the 25-yard line. A gain of 25 before Terry McDaniels. Oh, my word.
He had, oh boy, laugh a minute. He had at Virginia at 220 pounds. He didn't play 1 year. He had a problem with the, I guess, the authorities on a drug charge. Spent some time in jail. Came out of it, had a tryout with New Orleans, couldn't make it. And Carl Peterson calls him, and look at the product he's got. He's a good guy, clear-headed, bright, intelligent. He's matured, and I think he has naturally a long career ahead of him with the Chiefs.
Averaging nearly 6 yards a carry coming into this game.
There they go again.
Offside, Benson. They'll run on a free play. It's Okoye slamming to the 19. That was the last black jersey left, Eddie Anderson, and he took the brunt of that blow, giving away about 60 pounds.
Well, it's good he was alert to it because everybody moved, and if everybody slowed down waiting for a whistle.
Offside. Number 75, defense. 5-yard penalty.
Howie Long
First
again.
down.
I don't think he's going to send DeBerg a Christmas card. That's 4 on him.
Well, they did it the last time they played. You could see it early in the game he got Howie. So you've got to know going into this game, the only thing you can do is just spend a lot of time practicing moving the ball and not listening to that snap count.
They take the penalty, and it's 1st and 5. The gain by Okoye was about 8. And it's offside again. Golick across the line of scrimmage.
Dave Adolph must be going out of his mind, the defensive coordinator, because regardless of the drilling and everything that goes with it,
Number 79, defense. 5 yards, first down.
there's no need to have to do that. I think everybody would agree. And there's Dave. Dave worked with Marty Schottenheimer for 8 years, so he knows the Cleveland, all of Kansas City offense, and they've done a great job of stopping it. But this particular thing just kills you.
Yeah, they pass go again. They collect 200 more and 4 5-yard offside penalties on this drive from the 16. Okoye just falling
Dick,
fullback.
this is when the big back starts to pay off. Everybody, no matter how conditioned you are, you're not as quick and as strong as you were early in the game. There's some fatigue factor. And the big 250-pound back like Okoye or Barry Ward, they're the guys that can start breaking tackles, falling forward, getting the extra yards. And that's been the history of the Chiefs.
That was a 5-yard stumble. Current drive eating up the clock. 6:40 remaining fourth quarter. Kansas City leads by 3. Wide open is Jones for another touchdown. Bill Jones, 4 in the last 2 games.
Jones was uncovered, but Hayes was uncovered. Nobody near Hayes. I thought he'd throw to Hayes. He was already in the end zone. Neither of those guys were accounted for. Total breakdown in the coverage.
11 yards on that touchdown, just as they went 11 yards to Jones earlier in this half. So he has become quite a touchdown maker, Bill Jones, from Southwest Texas State. He was an outstanding Texas high school player, went to SMU, and then, of course, the SMU program suspended, migrated to Southwest Texas State, became a run blocker at 222 pounds, and now 5 touchdown catches out of 12 receptions this year.
Well, they just slip him in the flat.
Lowry's extra point.
They slip him into the flat. He normally blocks. You see his course is like he's going to block. Then he just slips to the outside, and Okoye makes the block. Nobody there because everybody is geared up to deal with Bill Jones. And meanwhile, he slips right by him in the pass pattern.
Impressive drive engineered by Steve DeBerg. 20 of the 73 yards on 5-yard offside penalties. His third touchdown pass of the game. 2 to Bill Jones, 11 yards.
Both touchdowns were the identical same play and basically on the same spot on the field. In both
Lowry
cases, they failed to make coverage.
kicks it deep. Ron Brown at the 1. And knocked out of bounds shy of the 20. Let's see how open Jones was.
Well, Jerry Robinson and Ricky Ellison must have been in coverage. But you'll see Hayes here, and then Jones acting as though he's going to block, then breaking into the flat. Nobody covers either man, and Okoye, of course, makes the fake inside, then picks up the block. So there's Jones slipping into the flat. Look at both men wide open to the outside. Same exact play they'd scored with before.
27-17, Kansas City. A win today by the Chiefs would tie them for first, but they would have the edge on the Raiders on the head-to-head, winning both games of the series. It's Galt picking up about 17 to the 35 before Kevin Ross and Lloyd Burris can stop him.
Galt going to the inside. This is what the Raiders have been able to do with him. Really has never been a very good receiver, breaking back to the inside. And that looks like trouble there.
It appeared that Jay Schrader went down. Here's the injury now to Schrader. Let's see what happens. Neil Smith diving in low and pinned Schrader along with his blocker. Appeared to be Wisniewski falling on Schrader.
Looks like Schrader's leaning on that left leg as he throws right there, and it just twists his knee to the inside. And I'm sure Neil didn't have that in mind, but he sure as heck had Sack in mind. It didn't look like a real severe twist, and he's putting some weight on it. I don't think you'll see him again today, but he's most likely not going to be out very long.
Vince Evans, the veteran from Southern California in his 11th year, will be the quarterback. Steve Berline is not active. He's one of the two that did not dress today. Evans gets a hand as he comes on. There's Berline, who has not been active any game this year after refusing to sign in the early camp in a long holdout. Many feel he's being penalized by the Raider management for not coming to camp on time. Hasn't suited up once this year. Some would argue he is the best of the three. Marcus Allen. To the 47-yard line, a gain of 11. Here's how the scoring developed in this game. Lowry kicked an early field goal, and Schrader to Tim Brown, 51-yard pass, set up a Marcus Allen 3-yard dive into the end zone, 7-3 Raiders. Then DeBerg came back, led a drive, and threw a 19-yard touchdown pass to Emil Harry, 10-7. And the last play of the half, Jeff Jager kicked a 50-yard field goal to tie it at 10. DeBerg to Jones twice in the second half, and that's the difference. Evans' first throw complete to Horton. And Ethan Horton all the way to the 18, but a flag is down.
Well, Evans showed a lot of poise at that point. Of course, 11 years in the league. He's played a lot of good football, a lot of poise. He timed the throw nicely.
Number 24, defense. Penalty decline, first down.
J.C. Pearson was holding. The play counts all the way to the 18, 36 yards.
Well, Horton's played very well, that's for sure. His run after the catch has been good. Look, they've held him and lost the coverage. Looked as though Cooper held him and then lost him.
Horton, who had 17 catches all year, has 4 today for 97 yards. And certainly in the back of his mind, playing against the team that drafted him #1, Kansas City, and then releasing him, found a new career as a tight end, was a college running back. Here's Marcus. Allen already with 2 touchdowns today, looking for the hat trick. First and goal at the 5 with 4.5 minutes left.
Mosbar on Saliamua, and Wisniewski coming out on Hackett just did a beautiful job of splitting people. And when Marcus hits that hole, it's full bore. Look at him get 5 yards after he's hit.
Vince Evans is going to call timeout Allen with 2 touchdowns and 71 yards rushing, the leading all-time Raider rusher and the leading rusher again this year, although Bo Jackson breathing down his neck. Timeout. Welcome back to the smoggy blue skies of Los Angeles. The Rams still leading by 4. They were up 21-7, about 7 to go at Candlestick. Pittsburgh has beaten the Jets, and it appears Phoenix will have the Patriots still another loss. First and goal, 5-yard line. Raiders trail by 10 with 4:23 to go. Marcus Allen. Touchdown, his 3rd of the game.
Well, we talk about people tiring in the 3rd and 4th quarter. That Chief defense just didn't rise to the occasion. They're on their heels. That Raider offensive line is knocking them off the ball, and Allen is hitting that line so hard he's just splitting people. So the fatigue factor at this point in the game allows for people to run. Now the key will be, with 4:19 to go, whether the Raiders can even get the ball back, because they'll suffer the same way.
Allen with his 90th career touchdown. A great player. San Diego High School quarterback, and of course a Heisman winner at Southern California, and a great All-Pro here with the Raiders. They may be reviewing, but it appeared he was well into the end zone before he lost the ball. That was an 81-yard drive in 5 plays, started by Schrader and finished by Vince Evans.
Allen just splitting people. Beautiful job of blocking by Ethan Horton. Steve Wright turned in Neil Smith, number 90, and Allen just hit that hole for full bore.
5 times a Pro Bowl player, Marcus Allen. Art Shell blocked for him as a rookie.
Yeah, they played 1 year together. 50th season for Art Shell.
Jeff Jaeger adds the extra point. It's 27-24.
Montoya right here driving snow back, but this is the key block. This is Wright blocking Neil Smith, and you'll see Marcus coming just outside of that block. A beautiful job by Steve Wright. He stood up Neil Smith and just turned him in slightly, and we split it.
Now with 4:19 to go, Steve Berg matching his 3 touchdown passes with Marcus Allen's 3 touchdown rushes. And Derek Thomas leaving the game for part of this 3rd period after recovering a fumble and bruising his knee, but did return. Schrader, no official report yet from the sidelines. We're trying to get that information. Apparently they wrapped Schrader's knee. They won't indicate whether or not he's able to return. We're talking about Schrader now, not Thomas.
In a sense, it's sort of a botched game by the Raiders, unless they can come back and tie the score here.
They've lost 3 fumbles to Kansas City, had a field goal block, and been sacked 5 times. But the Raiders could still win, and Jaeger hits it high and deep. Todd McNair at the 7. Smothered at the 19. So DeBerg and company will take over at that spot. Ricky Hunley, the big linebacker, in on that stop. DeBerg left the game for a couple of plays with a calf muscle, and he still looks a little ginger, doesn't he? Barry Word. 1 yard, that's it.
Howie Long forced that ball to bounce outside of him.
Terry McDaniel knifed in from the corner, number 36.
McDaniel sitting outside was right there to make the stop.
And we have a timeout. How does he feel? How would he measure this season? Said, I'm not happy with the record. I just feel that we're better than 6-4. We've lost 2 games by 1 point. Remember the game on Monday night at Denver by 1 when it appeared they had won it. They lost on the last play, and then they lost on the last play 17-16 at home to Seattle. But he said, we've gotten what we deserve, and I think we're pretty good. Not great yet, but real good.
He said right now that we're at our best, at least for this season. We're playing our best football coming in here. Kansas City has come in with so much confidence, exuding it, not cocky, not arrogant, just confident.
Second down, a long 8 actually, closer to 8th and 9. Barry Word. And the 240-pounder is across the 25-yard line. He came into the game with 512 yards rushing and a 5.9 average. He had 85 against the Raiders at Arrowhead earlier. And Los Angeles spends its second timeout. They're going to use them right here, try to stop Kansas City, and then have plenty of time left on that clock to tie or win.
Well, the Chiefs have substituted their wide receiver group. So they're not going to try to hammer it in there unless they have a draw or some kind of a trap play. But this surprises me because Word that time slid away from the defenders, and the defenders were tiring. There's no question about it. Howie Long and the entire group are fatiguing just a little bit, and so you cut back and split them.
Into the eyes of quarterback Jay Schrader, who has more to think about than just trying to win this game now. No one knows how serious that knee injury may be.
Well, I'm sure Mike White, his coach, will sit down with him and talk about dropping the ball in traffic. And he hasn't run that much this year, and he just doesn't protect the ball as he works between people.
If you had not been with us at the start, Schrader did fumble twice, both times recovered by the Chiefs.
And he's done some good things. Some of his throwing has been very, very good.
3rd and 4, and this crowd making it tough on DeBerg.
Well, Todd McNair, the running back, has been key in these situations.
Well protected over the middle to Thomas. Drilled, but he hangs on to it. What a hit, and Rob Thomas at 171 pounds able to embrace a first down, and Mike Harden leveled on it.
Harden had a running start at it. Thomas goes out like he's going to break to the outside, then he comes back underneath, and McDaniel got lost in the traffic. So it took Harden to come up and make the stop.
Well, that would have been his daddy, Aaron Proud. Aaron, who played many years with the New York Giants, 9 years from 62 to 70. First down at the 32. 3:05 left. Raiders have only one timeout remaining, plus the 2-minute timeout. And it's Word to the 34.
You can almost be sure the Raiders can just stack up when the Chiefs have Word or Okoye in the game because they're going to run them inside.
They're looking to the sidelines, but Archell says, I'm going to save that one timeout so Kansas City can run this play and then take it right to the 2-minute timeout. Did you have anyone help you on the sidelines in the timeout situation? Were all those calls the head coaches?
Right, we had one person. Whenever I'd ask, he would tell me, obviously, because you can't lose track of it.
Second down, and it's Word, met abruptly by number 70, Scott Davis, as we tick down to the 2-minute timeout. And at the 2-minute timeout, we welcome those of you who have seen the Phoenix Cardinals defeat the New England Patriots 34-14. You're at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. Kansas City has the ball and the lead, 2 to go, and we'll return in a moment. One timeout left for the Raiders, who trail by 3, but they have Kansas City in a 3rd down and 8 at the 34-yard line. Big play. First place on the line. Raiders win. They've got a 2-game lead. Chiefs win. They're tied, but the Chiefs beat the Raiders earlier, so would have the advantage head-to-head. A draw to McNair. He's got the first down. He turns the corner to the 45. And now the Raiders have only one timeout left. Will they spend it here? Clock is running.
McNair on a draw play. He's the key 3rd down, 5, 6, or 7 yards to go. He starts in, and then the pass rush takes people inside. Greg Townsend going for the sack, jumped inside of John Alt, and there was a big hole outside. And McNair just instinctively found it, because that play was not designed to bounce all the way over to the right side of the field.
And that is not a familiar role for number 48, Todd McNair. He had carried only 9 times all season long, and here in the 11th game, he gets one big carry, 13 yards, a first down that should allow Kansas City to run out the remaining time. There's 1:44 left. They have a first down, and the Raider fans feel there's no way that they can get it back. And Steve DeBerg, the veteran at 36, so many things are going right for him, and this year, it's as if he were 18 and someone said, you want a dream come true? We're going to let you play in the NFL, and you're going to be quarterback as well. Here in his 14th season, enjoying his best year by far.
Well, the whole idea of running Todd McNair was if he didn't get the first down, they could force a Raider timeout or use as much time as they could off the clock, so they weren't necessarily going for the first down.
Joe Pendry on the offense, Howard Mudd is line coach. The Kansas City Chiefs, as they run out the final few plays, they just need to kneel down, prevent an exchange error, and they will go back to Kansas City, tied for first, but with the edge on the Raiders.
Well, both clubs have to get some consistency, Dick. Both of them, they lose at the most inopportune time and just aren't able to establish themselves. Kansas City is just as guilty of that as the Raiders. They just need a consistent effort every week instead of the great win against Miami, then the loss to Kansas City, and Kansas City getting themselves upset by people like Indianapolis. So both clubs down the stretch have just got to get more consistency.
That'll bring up third down, 49 seconds. They have to snap it only one more time. A rough day for first place teams as the Giants lost their first game. The Bears were beaten, humiliated by Minnesota. The 49ers were losing late, and the Raiders in first place about to be defeated. And here's the final snap of the game, and there's no way to stop it now. Al Davis has seen Kansas City beat his Raiders twice, 9-7 in Kansas City and 27-24 here at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. And it appears that Marty Schottenheimer got a dousing in the celebration by his young Chiefs, who have finally fought their way from behind and are in first place. We'll be back at the Coliseum in just a moment.